Welcome to my channel, the viewers and the followers that need to know about the tools that I use usually. So today I will make a short video for my tools that I usually use. This is the interface. Of this machine. You can use it in Chinese language, even in English language. And there are different things you can see. These are not complicated but very simple. Here you can set the mode on weld, and if you want to remove the chip you will set it here, and whenever you want to mount a chip then you will use the mount selection, and you can mount the chip with the help of this camera. Here is a camera, and whenever I put as you can see my hand is here, you can see it shows two-side image, one from the top and one from the bottom, and you can set and align both images at the same time with the help of these knobs, this one and this one and this one. So it is very easy to use, and it happened to be a very nice tool for me because it never give any problem during my work on it. And as you can see here, I have some parameters already made here. You can select the group. There I have already made some profiles, the heat profiles, just like PS3 reflow, PS3 removal, Xbox Slim South Bridge, PS4 South Bridge, PS4 South Bridge this, and more, Xbox 360 CPU GPU reflow. So you can set many profiles in it at the same time. Then you must download it from this button. This profile will be executed, and whenever you will press the start button, this machine will profile as the settings of your profile that are pre-adjusted. So if you want to edit some, or you want to make some new profile, you can make it here. In my last assignment I just used this profile. This is maximum upper temperature is 245 and lower temperature is 250 degree, and it is rising the temperature with 3 seconds per degree, and the last profile's duration is 55 seconds, and second last have 40 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 seconds. And gradually I increase the temperature because there should not be a stress on any chip. There should not be a temperature stress. If there will be a temperature stress on the chip may be damaged. So you must make profiles very precisely. And here you can see that the motherboard temperature IRL, this is IR heater. I have kept this maximum temperature 150 degree, and duration is 300. It does not matter. I have kept this 300 because it would not be stop working during the whole process. So these are the main things. I wish that you should know them. Whenever you align this, finish your aligning here, you can press this button, and whenever you want to cool down manually, then you press this button cooling. The fan will start. Here is the fan. As you can see, the fan is running. Now it is stopped. Again I will press. Yes, it is running. Now stop. Yes. You have seen in my many videos, I usually use this tool to clean the processors from underneath, to clean the flux space from underneath the processors and GPUs, and it is a sort of compressed air. It is very useful for me. I think every technician should have it, so that it could be easy to clean the chips and from underneath. And here is its machinery. Here is a pressure meter installed on this panel. Here is the on-off switch, and this is the power light. But the only thing at the moment is working this pressure switch. As you can see that this pressure switch has a pipe attached to this tank, and this tank is filled with the compressed air with the help of this compressor. It is an ordinary refrigerator compressor. Here it has a thermal coil that protects it from overheating, and here it is lying this capacitor for this its motor. And at the back side it has a thermal switch attached here, and it is I think it is a safety valve. It is also from the tank. It is attached with the tank, and this pipe goes to the pressure switch. So guys, it is very useful thing. Even I will say that it is the most useful tool for me. And on the other hand, I have this lamp. I have two lamps. One is on my right side, and other one is on my left side. Sometimes I have to use it because my eyesight is deteriorating. I turn it on. It has some features that you can turn one side light off, then on, then both on, and you can glow this at high level, and even you can glow it at low level. And it has a magnifier. As you can see, it is a magnifier, and it is a useful tool. It's also from ProSkit. As you can see, the ProSkit label here. Yeah, you can see its model. So guys, these are the helping tools, and are very helping for me. When I start my career with the profession of this electronics, I always use this multimeter. Even then, when I did not have the oscilloscope, this one, I usually use this meter to rectify the faults. It was a very cheap multimeter from China, and it is my best companion since 30 years, or I think 30 or 35 years back. It is used whenever I have to check for the electronic circuits, just like power supply circuit, and to check the components like capacitors, resistors and diodes in power supply that are mounted on the motherboard of a power supply. It is very helpful to detect the fault with the help of this multimeter. It is still alive, as you can see. It is working. And the next tool is I have, it is a digital multimeter from ProSkit. ProSkit tools are very good, but some tools are so bad that I am fed up with these tools. So this is the one of the best meter I have. You can check here. It is an avometer. You should not you have not to select the readings again and again on for ohms, for 10 ohm and for 20 ohm or 200 ohm or kilo ohm. Only one setting for ohm. It measures here even in mega ohms, and the other setting is diode, and the volt setting to check the volts. When I set it on the volt, usually it is by default selects DC volt checking, but you can press this button. If you press this button, it is on AC. You can check AC volts as well, and on the other hand it is diode checking, and even you can check the nanofarad capacitors value setting on this, and with the help of a clamp you can even check the amperes here, but I have to move these probes on milliampere or 10 ampere settings. So it is also a very good and helpful tool for me. And on the other hand, I have this SMD tester. It is very handy and very helpful on and very helpful in testing the SMD components on a motherboard like this. In my videos you always watch that I check some resistors value with the help of this meter. It saves time. The only purpose to use this meter is to save time, because it is handy. You should not struggle with the probes, connecting this side and then connecting this side, then check the value. You just connect it here, you will be with the value. So it is very helpful for me too. And on the other hand, I have a SMD Tweezers, SMD iron, but I am sad that this device is very helpful for these kind of boards that consists of many SMD components for removing and installing the components, but this is a fake model of here it is mentioned not here, but the China sent me a fake tool, and these tips always get rusty, and I could not manage to put a component and then install a component again on the board, because the tips are always suffered with the rust. So I never use this. I have spoiled it. And on one more tool I have, it is very useful tool for me. because it gives me power supply ranging from 0.4 volts to different volts up to 30 volts and 5 ampere rating. I use it occasionally whenever I have to give volts on a circuit. As you can see, 12 volt. It is also helpful in repairing the UPS. I always use it whenever I have to repair a UPS. So it is also very useful. It is also from Proskit. It is good power supply, but the only drawback is that it has variables, not a digital level controller, but it has ancient potentiometers, 4 potentiometers that occasionally cause malfunctioning, and we have to replace these potentiometers. So, but it is working fine now. And here is the power supply of PS3. I have a female jack from a motherboard, as you can see, and a cable attached to it. In my videos you always watch that I always use this PS3. It is a kind of a tool for my workbench, and I permanently attach these 2 wires in the holes and to the positive and negative points of the 12 volts. And here I have a female. Whenever I have to use it on PS3, I just put it here. It is very easy, as you can see. And for the standby volt jack, I have attached, just cut the original jack and use one of its sides on the wires, and other half side of the jack is here and half is here. It was like this, but I extended it with the help of different color wire, and I put the standby jack here, and the other jack I usually use for the standby jack, like this. It is a good idea to use it like this, because it would not be a bother. It would not, because it would not bother you in testing the components underneath this PSU. Whenever you need to test the components underneath this PSU, you could not go under this supply. So just keep it at side and use these 2 clips. Same like I used a PS4 power supply. I have not done much for this. It is also a tool for my workbench. I also made it as a tool of my workbench. Just take an old PS3 board that is of early age, the first model of PS3. From this motherboard you can take this jack. This jack always fits on any kind of male jack, even on PS4, just like this, as you can see, and on the old PS3s and new PS3 and slim PS3 and super slim PS3, just this connector always fits on our male. This one is a female. I have got it from an old PS3 model, and this one is a PS4 motherboard's jack, just like this. I have taken it from a bad board, and I connect this PS4 jack to the old female jack of PS3. It is simple to use that. When I have to use it, just to remember the polarity, you have to remember the polarity, in which direction you are inserting this jack, this way or this way. So just put it here and press it. It is fixed, and now you can use this jack, female jack, on any male jack with a good polarity. You should know that as you are using this way, you should use it this way or this way. So these are the tools, and in the last I have this oscilloscope. This oscilloscope I purchased it from a scrap market, and in a damaged condition. As you can see, it is still damaged. It is some broken with some broken knobs. As you can see, even there is no knob, and it is also broken, and it is also broken, and even the motherboard was broken, and this scope was dead. I just purchased it from a scrap market in only in $20 to $30. So this component tester, I made it myself in the modification in the motherboard, and it is built in the oscilloscope. And this component tester, I have used a button here. This button is for delay time. I removed this function from this oscilloscope and use this button to switch it over to component or analog testing. So at the moment, it is, when it is off, it is in analog state. In analog state, you can check that it is giving me a signal that is of a 2 volt signal, and I have set these settings like 1 block is equal to 1 volt. So it shows this signal amplitude is in 2 blocks, so it is of 2 volts. You can even increase or decrease it like this, but for accurate measurement, you must keep your settings with the help of this VP signal, and it is written that it is of 2 volts, so you can set it on 2 blocks. Its amplitude could be set in 2 blocks, and whenever I switch this button, it becomes a component tester. It becomes a component tester. Component tester is just a trace that is of 50 cycle per second. Our main voltage are 50 cycle per second, so I use the 50 cycle of per second. So I use 50 cycle per second from my main, using a adapter, step down adapter of 6 volt, and even you can use of a 9 volt, 12 volt, just to take sweep voltage of 50 cycle per second. And whenever this oscillation is not in working, then there will be a dot in the center. Maybe if we can show you. So when there will be no oscillation, there will be a simple dot here in the center. but when we use as a sweep voltage in the horizontal section, I give 50 cycle per second. This will be there will be a trace line like this, and in vertical section, when you give in vertical section, the trace line will be vertically like this. Here I use I have given the connection of this input for my component tester. Here I have used this port jack. This was for another purpose, but I used it for my probe here. And whenever I will touch it with my ground, it will be vertically in sweep mode. Now it is vertically oscillating with the cycles 50 cycles per second, and now I will remove it from here. It is sweeping horizontally 50 cycles per second. It is a very simple circuit. You can take it from me, and even you can build this component tester very easily. You have not to open the oscilloscope, but you can build it and attach it externally. At the back side of this oscilloscope, there is a input signal there where you can give its 50 cycle per second frequency with 6 or 9 or 12 volts. You will get this type of trace. With the help of this trace, I can detect many of the faults very easily. It is very helpful and easy to use. And also I mentioned that it is just like a multimeter, just like this. If you have not this, you can use it. If you have not this, you can use it. So it is also a meter. It shows resistance like this. This trace will be like this. If there is a diode, it will be in a L shape, this shape, and if there is a logic, it will be in this shape. You can observe it in my videos. You can understand it. So, and in the last, I have I have a iron with a flat tip. You can see it. Its tip is flat. Yes, like this. It is very useful for cleaning the solder balls from a motherboard or a chip, and it is from China, but it is kind of very low ampere. It is just 20 watts. As you can see, it is of 20 watt. Sometimes I have to use the heat gun with it whenever I found that it is not sufficiently heating the component or the points of the component, not melting the solder. Then I use this heat gun additionally with this, so it helps me. So guys, that's all. And on the other hand, I have a CPU and even this thinner bottle. I use it, and here is alcohol. It is also very useful thing for your devices cleaning, and WD-40 bottle. Thank you very much.